It's not like a Torghast where they're like, you better do this because if you don't, you're gonna suck. Hey, what's happening, guys? Hope everybody's doing well. Today, I just wanted to go through an overview of Dragonflight. Hope you guys have been having a kick-ass time so far. I certainly have been. I've just been playing nonstop, and it's definitely been a blast. So I just kind of wanted to go over if you should be coming back, what to expect, and I'll definitely be dropping some nuggets of information that I kind of gathered along the way. But mainly, I wanted to just see if Blizzard was really talking out of their ass when they said that they're going to go ahead and step away from some of this mandatory content. Quick TLDR, it's been a banger. But let's get into that right now. So starting off with launch, it is usually a freaking mess. And speaking for myself, hi, I'm Area 52. It was just that. It was definitely a little crazy. So like the first hour, we literally just played a death loop. I was like on the first Zeppelin. We were hyped, mad people there. And then we'd get on the Zeppelin. And from there, it would just teleport us right back to the graveyard, back to the boat, to the graveyard, back to the boat for about a good 45 minutes. So what a good time it was. But I was with my boys and we were kind of doing it together. So that's quite the experience. Your experience may vary, but being on Area 52, that's just stuff that you got to get used to. Once we finally got over to Dragonflight, we touched down maybe like an hour into it. And then we are welcomed with a general chat that is pretty much saying, don't touch any quest or loot any items because, well, you're just going to go ahead and DC. And boy, was that true. So that was my experience on that. It was interesting to say the least. So hopefully your launch was a little bit more smooth. And it's always a blast when you're trying to play the game and, you have to sit there and watch somebody else play the game that you're paying for too. It's definitely a good time. But that's what I ended up doing. You know how those streamers got those special servers, right? Because of that, I am streaming Tuesday and Thursday, 8 o'clock. So definitely stop by because we want those special servers too one day. We get better at this YouTube thing. I'm telling you, it's coming. So after the launch, the next day, it was smooth. So all in all, I mean, one day of just chaos is not too bad. But getting into the questing, so right off the bat, obviously you have the decision to make if you just want to do like the main campaign quests, the side quests, and the side quests are great. I think they're more personable. I think they're funny as all hell. So if you haven't done some of the side quests, guys, definitely go check that out. You won't be disappointed. I feel like they really revitalized the cutscenes as well. Cutscenes been looking fantastic. They definitely stepped up with their technology and innovation on the cutscenes, and it kind of does a good job bringing you back in. So that's just another thing I wanted to mention. So definitely kudos to these guys on stepping up on these cutscenes because they're absolutely beautiful, and it's a way to kind of keep us engaged just a little bit longer. In my opinion, questing is questing, and by the end of it, even with a new expansion, it kind of starts to get old. But a great thing that was introduced was dragon riding. Dragon riding in general is absolutely fantastic. It really, I feel like it really bridges the gap of just being like, just flying to your next bubble on the map and completing it and then just going to the next bubble. Now, when you're with your buddies and you're doing these quests, it's just another level of engagement and another mini game within the game. You know what I mean? It's super nice to have that extra layer of gameplay. It really is. I honestly thought it was just going to be something that I kind of looked over. It's like, great, it's just flying. But it really made a difference, even in the regular day-to-day questing. It made it way more tolerable, speaking for myself. I was looking forward to getting back on that dragon and heading over to that new quest objective. It was a good time. So that's just an extra layer of engagement that we definitely needed. Dragon flying is kick-ass. Couple of tips on that. Number one is when you press your Dragonflight ascend button, go ahead and look up. When you do that, you're going to gain more momentum and more speed if you do point your camera upwards. Another tip when it comes to the dragon flying, when you get to your final city, Valdrakken, there is a NPC and you can actually click on her to let her give you an autopilot for your partners. You're going to be able to turn into a whelp and your friend can just pretty much do an auto follow while they go take a leak or do what they got to do. So this way you don't have to like lose out on that. You can always set it up so that you can have a passenger on your mount as well.
Also, if for some apparent reason you do run out of vigor and you simply don't want to wait, you can always just log out and that'll reset all your vigor.
Also, if you guys don't know, there's a nice plugin for handy notes that pins all the tokens, the Dragonflight tokens on your map. It is account wide, So once you collect all your tokens for one of your characters, you're never going to be able to do it again. So the way I went about it is, as I was kind of leveling, I got the plugin from Handy Notes. I'll put it down in the description. And I just went through the zone, questing regularly. And when I was around that area, that's the tokens that I decided to pick up. This way, you know you're not missing any in the back of your head, so you're good. But you don't have to like take the extra, half an hour or whatever and just fly around all the zones and just collect the tokens. Take your time with it, but if you want to just go get them all, by all means, right? It is what it is. But you can only get to do it once, so you may as well take your time with it and enjoy it. It just really feels nice to take a deep breath away from Shadowlands and be back playing WoW. I don't know about you, but even for myself, I play WoW every day. And I was so confused when it comes to freaking Shadowlands. Like, literally, if I wanted to make a new character, my mind turned to mush. What do I do? Do I get these shards of dominations? Do I get all this stuff? I mean, honestly, I'm not going to go too deep into this because this will just be like the longest video. But it was just a mess. And I can only imagine how new people felt walking into walking into Shadowlands with all the different stuff that they had going on. So it's been really nice. So we have the questing, cutscenes have been getting better. Even your dragon riding, you have choice. You can go and get those tokens right off the bat, spend a half an hour if you really wanted to. Or you could do it the other way and just kind of like gradually go and get what you need as you level through the zones. And that's what I chose to do. So already we have some player choice, and that was fantastic. So once you got through your questing, you were introduced to Renown. Boy, was I scared when I seen that. But it turns out it's really just a revamped reputation grind, and it's not needed. So that's another thing that is really up to you to do, and that's fantastic. I plan on doing it because it's not shoved down my throat, and that alone feels great. So all this is just the old school rep, like the neutral, friendly, exalted, revered, whatever. So they just wrapped it up in a new bow and ribbon and called it Renown. So it's really just the old school rep as we know it from back in the day, but now it's just on a prettier scale, in my opinion, and it works well. There's some gear, there's definitely some patterns that you can get, but it's not going to be game changing, and it's definitely going to be irrelevant moving into the weeks to come when stuff starts actually releasing. So it's things that you can optionally do whenever you want, and I think that's the way it needs to be. So again, don't be scared of this Renown track. You'll definitely get some pieces of gear. They will open up some additional bonus objectives and open world quests. It's not required content. It is not that mandatory stuff that we all just love. Another side of things are the professions, but this is a deep system. It's just a deeper level of gameplay that we definitely lost moving into this era of WoW. And I'm really happy they brought it back. I have family, and even my girl, she wanted to just jump in and, do some professions. And back in the day, it's kind of lackluster, but now it's nice, fresh, and honestly, you could spend so much time doing this stuff. And it is another avenue of gameplay that we've been missing. So super happy that they decided to kind of implement that and actually bring forward some mythic gearing and some potentially really good reasons why you should go and now start crafting. But another optional gameplay loop that is your choice at the end of the day to participate in. I feel like people are really quick to bitch, so you know what? We should be just as fast to say thanks, because this is wonderful. It's very much so up to you at this point, and hopefully this stays this way. I know we need to kind of get through the honeymoon phase and stuff needs to settle in, but at the rate that we're going right now, we could just take a deep breath. It's really nice to just be like, all right, what do we got to do? Well, you don't have to do anything. Just hit level 70 and go enjoy the world. So once you hit 70, there's definitely a couple places that you could scoop up some gear that I highly recommend. And it's super easy. Honestly, I feel like gear has never been easier to obtain than right now. It is going to be obsolete in a couple of weeks, but this is just to prep your character to be the best that you can be walking into those weeks. So starting off with that Cobalt Assembly, it's just a rep grind, and I went and grabbed that, what is it? It's like a 380 something ring. You have to go to level 4, and you have to loot the mobs to receive the reputation, but it's an easy upgrade, and that's what you should go grab right away, as well as PvP. Now, no, you don't have to PvP. It's just getting the bloody tokens. And I'm not really a PvPer at all, but when I seen the eye level gear that this stuff gives you for literally almost no effort. I mean, I had a PvP world quest pop up, and it offered like 700 bloody tokens from just doing this one world quest. And I mean, that's like 2 pieces of gear on one world quest, and they're like 366 or something crazy like that. Definitely well worth for literally no effort. Like I said, if you don't want to do the whole PvP thing, you can go into custom groups and kind of go shard hopping a little bit, and you could just go and farm these bloody tokens and gear up that way. Also, when you get there, I would definitely get like rare scanner or something like that at this point, and then you can kind of go through all the rares that are just littered around Dragonlands. They're not specific to you, so you could, you know, as a mage, you can get a bow or something like that. But if you have nothing better to do and you're kind of just looking around for to scrape up the last pieces of gear that you want, definitely something you can do and potentially get some high level gear just from the rare bosses. There's also going to be your Trial of Flood and your Trial of Elements, and that'll also give you gear when those events come up. And definitely, if you can, because Mythic Zero is only going to be available, you have 2 shots of doing it until raid comes out. I would definitely see if you can stack the same armor type, just because it is well worth. But if worse comes to worse, just lock them out, get your Mythic Zeros done, and you'll be ready to go, which makes it all more appealing. I do want to participate in more of these gameplay aspects, just because it's not like a Torghast where they're like, you better do this, because if you don't, you're gonna suck. I think that's a horrible way to go about it, and it just burns everybody out. It really does. There's just so many less systems to wrap your head around, so you can focus on the things that we enjoy, just like our simple talent system. And for some, I bet you that's enough. I mean, the talent system alone is definitely, for new people, I would say it's overwhelming as all hell. A lot of people don't even know what it was for back in the day. But all in all, so far, Blizzard has been keeping their word, and there isn't too much mandatory content. This has been the most alt-friendly and non-mandatory gameplay loop we've seen in a very long time. So I just wanted to say thank you. And hopefully this stays the same, because it's been wonderful. And they just keep packing this game full of evergreen content, because that's what I'm hoping for. And I'm sure you guys were sick and tired of all the craziness that was going on in Shadowlands. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed any of these tips, definitely hit that like button. It would mean the world and back to me. Thank you. And I hope you guys have been enjoying. So thanks so much for watching, and I will see y'all in the next one. Take it easy, guys.